Stuff I did that.
All right, all right. Welcome back to another episode of the Masterful Conversations podcast, where we learn about leadership from the men who have served or are currently serving as Worshipful Master in a regular lodge of free and accepted Masons. I am Brother Matthew Wagstaff, a proud past master of Eureka Lodge number 36 out of Rochester, New York. We're currently serving as our Worshipful Master is Brother Jermaine Myers. And I'm with
I am past Master Mark Alexander of Sons of Kings Lodge number 123 out of Brooklyn, New York. Well, currently in the Oriental chair is Brother Fitzgerald Boyce II.
We both hail from the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of the state of New York. We're currently serving as our Grand Master is Most Worshipful Darren M. Morden. And so before we jump into our episode for today with our guests here today, we want to make sure that as you're listening to this show here, just a quick announcement. Please, I hope you voted. This is a very important election. I hope you vote both at the federal level and at the local level. So make sure you're doing your civic duty and making sure you vote. Yeah, and the word that your voice is heard in this matter.
Yeah,
We
my
also,
youngest was the first time voter today,
hey,
Jalen.
congratulations, congratulations. Yes, got to start them early. Just get them used to
Mhm.
it. Be a part of the process for sure. Also, please like, subscribe to the channel. Please continue to share the channel with as many people as possible. We try to share some gems around leadership, and hopefully what you hear will be helpful to yourself and others in your community. So please continue to like, share. We appreciate the comments. We love all the positive energy that you've been given so far. Um, Before I introduce our guest this evening, also want to say that this isn't the first time that he's been on the show, and I want to make sure that we have we put let the record show, that Worshipful Master Green is actually our first first sitting Worshipful Master on the show. And so due to some technical difficulties and some issues on my part, I take full blame for it. We weren't able to publish his original show. But ironically enough, Worshipful Master Charlie Fisher out of St. John's Lodge number 16 was the first recorded Worshipful Master that we were able to post. But I don't think we have a Lodge 15 in our jurisdiction. And so it's ironic that Will from 14 and then St. John's 16, they swapped in terms of who was published, but actually Will was first and Charlie came
That
after him.
that
So
that sound like that controversy going on in the first district with Celestial and this.
lot, lot. But just so the people know, Will has definitely been a part of the team for a while now. He was the first Worshipful Master, first sitting Worshipful Master that was on the show. And so we're happy to have him back. He has a great story to tell and definitely some gems to drop. And so with that, I want to introduce Worshipful Master Wil Green from Adelphic Union Lodge number 14 out of Harlem, New York. This is his second year serving as Worshipful Master for Adelphic Union. And so with that, welcome back, Worshipful Master Green. We appreciate you.
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad you got me back. But as you was talking, you know what came to my head? This is like Nas lost tapes. Remember Nas got the lost tapes.
Or tapes,
So
there
that
it
that that
is.
that is gonna be a classic when it does come out, when you finally get it off, or if it ever comes out. Or the
Mhm.
Zoom people be like, you know what? Let's release the lost tapes. There it goes. Classic.
All
Automatic.
right. Let's put that in the air. Let's put that in the air
Yeah,
right now, right in the ethos for
yeah.
sure.
There
All
you
right,
go.
cool.
Exactly. All right, though. Let's don't forget this disclaimer.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. I
Yeah,
got too excited, man.
yeah,
Let's put that out
exactly.
there.
The information shared on this show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed are our own, do not reflect the views or opinions of our lodge, of a Grand Lodge. If you have any particular questions, please consult your proper office in your respective jurisdictions.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get right into it. Worshipful Master Green, again, appreciate you being on the show with us here. Um, you always start with a little backstory. So tell us a little bit about your backstory, when you were raised in the Adelphic Union, and then your journey to the East.
Uh, I was always interested in knowledge of self, right? And as I started studying and I'm learning about myself, I'm learning about my history, I'm learning stuff. I'm starting to see that all the teachers were Freemasons, right? Or the prominent people in our community were Freemasons or had something to do with it, or they would mention it. You know, you start dealing with certain schools, they'll mention Freemasonry, whether it's negative, positive, they will mention it. So it
Mm.
piqued my curiosity.
Mm.
And from there, that led me down the rabbit hole. And I reached out to a friend, my boy, past master Lewis Cruz, and he opened the door. That was 2016. Came in 2016 in February, initiated, and I got raised in November of 2016. So I went through it, got raised. Um, after that November, January, I sat in as recording secretary, which was
Mm,
great. I had a good time. I moved up, or I don't want to say moved up because it's just there's no up and down in this. We all on the
Mm-hmm.
level,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I from there I changed seats. I went to uh what was it, the junior master ceremony. Went to
Okay.
junior master ceremony, went to senior master ceremony. I stood at senior master ceremony for 2 years, and then from there I went to junior deacon, senior deacon, junior warden, and there was my senior warden at the time, for personal reasons, couldn't do it. I heard in the last show we got a lot of past senior wardens, right?
Yeah.
So he couldn't do it for, life happens, and
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't continue. So I went into Worshipful Master, and that was in 2023, our milestone year. That was our 160th year anniversary of being
uh,
of Adelphic Union being chartered.
nice.
Mm.
So that was a big
Congrats.
year for us. Thank you.
Another
Yes,
one of our classmates, 2020.
absolutely.
2023,
Another
yeah.
one of the
He caught the
classmates.
second
Yes.
one, yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to
Yes.
2022, 2023 class of Worshipful Masters for sure.
Yeah. And then my with our lodge, with my lodge, we have what's called the progressive line, where
Mm-hmm.
we go one seat after the other seat. We progress through the line, and
Mm-hmm.
since there was a gap in there because the senior warden couldn't sit, I spoke to my wife, because I only told her it was a year. Spoke to my
Mm-hmm.
wife, and she said she seen it in my eyes, like, yo, I know you love this. I know you love this masonry. Do it. I'll support you. And I support her. She supported me. I got her. I got well, she's 4 now. She was 3 at the time. We have a toddler. So I know it's a lot of work for her with her business. And she knows that I love this. She knows that I'm masonry every day. Mark knows this because I've been places in other states, and they know Mark. They're like, oh, hey, we start talking. Wait a minute, Mark. Oh, that's my brother. Yeah, and we start talking from there. We go from there. So my wife blessed me and said she gave me the blessings, and I did the second year, which is this year now. And it
Dope.
was, this was 2 great years of my life. I loved
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to hide from nobody with Will around because he find everybody I know.
it. Yo,
If the people from my
eh,
old jurisdiction he
eh,
find, he just find everybody I know.
yo, hey, you know what they all say about you? Mark
Yeah.
is a good dude.
Mm,
Everybody, no matter who I talk to, no matter what
mm,
state I'm in. Oh,
mm.
Mark, that's a good brother right there. He
Mm,
deserves what he got. He's a good dude. Everybody that I've met said that, which is good. Which and it no, that's the vibes that I got from him. And I appreciate. We always chopping it up.
Yeah, definitely. Hmm.
Whenever I need some information, I hit him up. He hits me up. It's great, and what they say, you could tell uh how a person is by by the way people talk about them.
mm.
And they talk positive about you, which is good, Mark.
That
Thank
always
you.
helps. That matters.
Hmm. Yeah,
Matters.
100%.
Absolutely. So
Thanks.
as you were going through the chairs, the progressive chairs in the Adelphic Union, let's talk a little bit about the things you learned from a leadership perspective, if you can remember that. It wasn't that long ago. So, what are some of the things that you learned as you were going from recording secretary to master ceremonies, all the way up through the junior ward and then now master? What were you learning through that process, if you can remember?
Well, what I could tell you is that Adelphic Union has it's a well-oiled machine, right? It's a machine that's put together. The machine is moving. And I love this machine. I love the way what we're doing for the craft, the way it's been going, right? My past, I stand on the shoulders of giants. They set it up already. I just had to keep with the flow. And if it wasn't, right, and I tell people, I'm not the person to debate. I'm not the person to be fighting with them. That's not my. I didn't come here for that, to try to change anything. So I wouldn't be there. I love the way this lodge is functioning, right? There's none of that debating. We're fighting with each other, and we're gonna get more into that too. But So the machine was built. I just had to go, I went in and fell right in line with it. I fell in protocol. And as I got through the seats and I'm learning, right? I'm learning. I recorded secretary was great because I'm hearing everything. I'm writing everything down. I'm listening to everything. I'm seeing, I had Dr. McKenzie. He's well, he's retired now. Congratulations to him. But he was a provost for St. John's University. Did I think
Mm,
40 years at St. John University.
mm.
A lot of good guy, good guy. He was the recorded secretary. He was the secretary at the time.
Secretary.
So
Mhm.
we going back and forth, and he knows his stuff. And I went through it. I learned from there. As I got to uh the junior master ceremony, now I'm learning how to receive the grand master, right? So there's every step, there's always more to it. I'm receiving the grand master. I'm learning how to walk, I'm not a military guy. I don't know how to march, and those pivots that we have to do,
Mm,
and
Mhm.
we try not to let the grand master or the deputy grand master grab our arms and control us. Because this is something, when they come, they're gonna grab your arm
yeah,
and
yeah,
show you how to
Mhm.
walk, which is, and I understand because they don't want to trip, but it's our duty as a lodge to show the brothers how to receive the grandmaster, how to walk with the grandmaster, how to cover him with how we cover them when they coming in with the staffs. So I learned through there. When I got to the junior deacon, now I start thinking more, right? Because I'm like, yo, I start going into the esoteric. I'm like, yo, and I start listening to the words, and I'm like, yo, this could also be within ourselves, right? If I'm going too far, just let me know. Because if they knocking, right? There's also information that's knocking that wants to get into you, that wants to get this information,
mm,
and you gotta either they're gonna be correct, and you let that information in, or you don't. You don't let it. You block it. You stop them from coming in. Same thing with the
mm,
information, right? With
mhm,
knowledge.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we keep going forward and forward. When I the senior deacon, now I'm in there. Now I'm playing with the knowledge within myself, but I also, as far as the esoteric side, now I'm like, okay, now I'm here with this information. How do I um uh put it to life, put it to use in life? And at the same time, now I'm learning the floor. Now I'm getting more comfortable because I have to speak. I have more speaking parts. I'm working a degree. I'm walking the candidate around. The senior deacon, that's his floor, and I'm learning all this stuff. I didn't learn. The guys that could learn the middle chamber, uh, that's props to them. That wasn't for me. I couldn't
mhm,
get it. I was focused on what I was doing. Junior warden, now I'm learning more responsibility. Right, there's more responsibility now. I'm responsible to make sure that the brothers are fed. I got people under me that I'm telling them what to do. Like, brothers, you have to
Mhm.
go set up the food. I'm telling men that are older than me, telling them, let's go set up the food. Brothers that are probably in their career wise far more ahead of me. I don't know, but I'm telling brothers what to do now as a leader in the lodge. I'm
mhm.
learning how to vote for the lodge, right? Because the lodge put us in place to vote for them, to represent them at grand session. So I'm learning all this stuff, which is great. I loved it. This was
Mm,
like, this is a world that I loved. I loved all of this. I love coming into this and learning this stuff, and also to be able to teach it to the people that are coming in also. Because now
mhm.
they also put you as a dean, right? As a dean to teach and to the brothers that are coming in, the candidates, and to apprentice the fellow crafts. So I'm also able to teach what I've learned.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Were,
definitely.
were you said you were the dean for the class for one of your
Yes,
classes?
I did. Yes, I was a dean for, I believe it was 2019 or 2020.
Mm,
2020.
wow,
Yes.
wow. I mean, you said you got raised in 2016.
Yes.
Wow, 4 years and able to teach a class, man. That's big. That's
Right.
big.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
That says a lot about how the lives thought about you. That's great.
Well, or that my lodge have been teaching, they raised me right. Right?
Hmm.
How they raised us right. They showed us how to do it. The machine was set. It was already
Mhm.
set for us to do it. All we gotta do is follow protocol, follow how the system is set up. I'm not trying to change anything. And
Yeah.
if you everybody comes to masonry for something different, right? In our lodge, I know you have probably heard this before. We try to give a third of ritual, right? Because the ritual is what connects us all around the world. I'm in New Orleans. The brothers, we went through something similar. Um, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, wherever I'm at, even in Mexico,
Mm,
they know that we went through something, the ritual, right? The knowledge, that's another third. that knowledge, understanding, and knowing what we're doing. So my lodge was giving me this. And the other third is fraternalism, right? Because if I'm coming there and just learning and doing ritual, but I'm not friends with anybody, and we're not really learning masonry, sitting down, chopping it up, smoking a cigar, going through the trials and tribulations, then it's not what it won't connect me to the rest of everybody else, to the world. So
That
our
term you
lodge,
use, they
what's
teach
that?
you fraternalism in Adelphic Union.
They what
That term isn't used a lot in Masonic bodies, but
it isn't. No,
well, it's not a Masonic. Well, I'll leave it.
They
It's
did
great
say
that they
that.
teach you that in Adelphic Union.
well, it's in the well. One of my mentors and my one of my well, we call it nowadays, them young boys call it my big homies, Kevin P. Wardally, which is our also happens to be our grand senior warden.
Yes, he
He
is. Yes,
uses
he
it,
is.
and I remember he's the one that wrote that paper, the Adelphic Way. And actually, when I came in, it was explaining it a lot. Like I give it up to him a lot, like because he showed
Yeah,
us masonry, what it was to do, this organization of
yeah,
masonry.
absolutely. Principal tenets, brotherly love.
Yes.
But the term fraternalism is interesting that you use that actual term. So I appreciate that personally. But no,
Mm.
I like that. I like that.
You know,
Um,
what's up?
Now, like I said, you did mention a lot of stuff when you was going through the chairs, and I just want to point a couple of things out. Particularly, I know, like you said, when you went to I think it was the junior
The door,
deacon. No,
the
no,
door.
the junior deacon particular. Yeah, when you said now you started listening, because that's one of the things that I see that a lot of brothers don't be doing. They don't pay attention until they get to like a principal officer's chair.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was important that, and I know it helped you out a lot, but you actually really started paying attention into things. And then once you started listening, then you said to the next stop, like senior deacon, you start applying. You figure out, all right, I see what this is now. I'm gonna apply it to my life and see how it works out and stuff like that. So,
Exactly.
and then when you got to the junior war and you said you was giving out, but what you were doing was learning how to delegate. Because as worship master, you can't function without delegating, because that's all the worship master really does. He himself don't really do anything to a extent or whatever. He can help or whatever, but his function is really to delegate to the other people and make sure that
Depends on the lodge, Mark.
I'm just saying, yeah, for the most part. I mean,
Yes.
if the worship master has to hop in, I mean, he will, all of us did something, I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
Right.
worship. But
yeah.
you know what I mean? But the
Yep.
main job is to give the craft its
Mm,
proper instructions.
Yes.
And
right.
that's delegation.
Right.
You know what I mean? To make sure that they know what to do, how know their job, how to handle their job, and making sure that they understand it completely. Because sometimes if you don't communicate properly, then they don't follow through properly. So all those things are important.
Yes.
So yeah, I've definitely found that interesting the way you explained that, and I definitely like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Also, since we were talking about it too, learning what when you say learning, like learning what this organization is, right?
Hmm.
And this is one that we give to the enter apprentice as soon as they come in. We are not that we are Freemasonry. We do charity, but we're not a charity organization, charity based organization.
Organization.
We do party, but we're not a party organization, right? You want to do charity? There's the Red Cross, there's NAACP. They do it, they have many years of this is what they're focused on.
Yeah.
You want to party?
Specialized. Hmm.
There's the bar, there's the cigar clubs, there's a bunch of other stuff that's specializing, but we do this stuff and we
Hmm.
do it good, but that's not our specialty. Our specialty is initiating, passing, and raising and making masons, right? Making this world better by one mason at a time. So
mm,
we to give them that idea, because a lot of these brothers come in and why we don't do no charity work? We got to do charity work. And they are angry, right? And I'm
Mm.
telling them, I'm like, listen, what you're not learning, what you're not seeing is that you can go to Celestial Lodge and do the autism work. You could
Mm.
go to Fidelity Lodge and go help the brothers do the bow ties. You could come
Mm.
to the first district where they do the feeding every month, once a month, the soup kitchen, right?
You
There's
you walk with
brothers
Sons of Kings on November 13th at the Kidney Walk at Fifth
at the kidney walk.
at
You
Foley
could go.
Square.
Talk to
Brother
him.
Anybody
Trevor.
want to hop in?
Which
Plug,
one is
plug.
it?
No, wait, brother Trevor always he's promoting this. Like there's
Mm,
always somebody doing something. There's a Mason doing it, right? It
yeah,
doesn't have to be in my lodge. You can go
Mhm.
anywhere and do it, right? There's lodges that love doing this, and that's what they do. We're not telling you to demit. We're not telling you, but understand what you're coming here for. We're going to give you that third, and that third, right? A third of ritual, a third of knowledge, and a third of fraternalism, right? We're giving you that.
mm,
This is what we come to give you, and this is going to open you up to a whole new world, right? This opens you up to where you're gonna, once you learn what you're supposed to learn for proficiency, it's
Mhm.
gonna open you up to meet brothers all around the world, whatever you're looking for, and you're
mhm.
gonna find it, right? You just travel, right? As a traveling man, you keep traveling. You're gonna find what you're looking for. You're gonna gravitate towards it.
Definitely. So now that you're in the East, that let's go to your first year and let's talk about like the things you focused on that first year. And then how big is the lodge? Just so give brothers like some context and give people some context that are listening. So how large is the lodge? What did you focus on? And what are some of the things you learned that first year that maybe you've used this year or you decide to do something differently in your second year?
Okay. Well, we have 109 members in our lodge. We have uh, uh it's a strong lodge, right? We have the brothers are outside. These brothers are strong. I have the Grand Junior Warden. I have the Grand Senior Warden. I have uh, two trustees. I have two emeritus. Like I have strong brothers in that's active in this fraternity. That's active in this jurisdiction. Right. So and they teach. These are my teachers. These are my. That's I have a gun loaded. So whenever I need, I know who to go to. Boom. I know where to. I know where my bullets are. Right. So my first year, I'm a person that's into knowledge. I'm into lectures. I've seen Mark, and we've been downtown 23rd Street. We've been other places that we bumped into each other because we're going for lectures. I've been to a Masonic con upstate, and the brother was like, I'm one of his friends seen me at up there, like, oh, I seen you at Sons of Kings because I went for lectures. So I was into the lectures. My first year my goal was to have a lecture every month, that bring in a lecturer, and we did it with the support of my lodge. The way I did it was so that we don't touch the funds of the lodge was I sold challenge coins. Like, I raised the money, so I was able to bring in brothers. I fly them in and put them in a hotel for the night and send them back. Right, we send them right back. What people don't understand that most of these lecturers, they want to come. They want to. They're Masons. They want to share their knowledge, and they come for free. They're not charging. They come in, or they just want to. You got to pay their travel and their travel and their stay. That's what they ask for. Most of them, they ask for that. And we even had one brother, an honorary brother. He wrote the book "Observing the Craft." He had, like, when we didn't have the money, he would stay. A lot of them, even Damien Jack, would stay at Kevin Wardalley's house. So when they come now, when I call them up, I called Andrew Hammer from Observing the Crowd. I said, "Listen, can you come out?" He said, "Sure, I'll drive up. Can I? You think I could crash at Wardalley's house?" I said, "Whoa, nah. We're gonna put you in the hotel. You got your privacy, and we'll pay for you to come up." He's like, "Oh no," but he's an honorary member, so he's like, "No, don't worry about it. I'll drive up." And just you could I'll stay with Kev. I said, no, we'll put you in the hotel so you got your stuff, your privacy, do what
Mhm.
you want. And Kev got his privacy, whatever he got going on in his house. We'll put you in a hotel. We got it. And that's what we did. We put him in a hotel. Damien Jack, we flew him up. Chris Hodap. So I was able to bring in these heavy hitters to come speak at the lodge. Right. That was my goal. Every month to have a lecturer. Not only that, was to travel to two lodges every month, right? To go to different lodges every month. Not only that, was to bring our brothers to go speak at other lodges, and I was able to do it. Right, we revamped the Beehive. Right, it was there. It went dormant for a while, and we brought it back out. Mark actually wrote an article for our Beehive. Right,
Yeah,
we
what's the beehive?
Yeah.
what's the Beehive? We brought it. Oh, the Beehive is
Yeah.
a journal, uh, a journal that we put out every month. Right, we
Like a
put out
newsletter.
a newsletter. Yes, we put it out.
Mhm.
It's a newsletter. We put it out. I'll say what we did for the month, what we were doing for the next month, what's going on with Adelphic Union, and I'll have a lecturer. I'll have somebody write a paper. And my first year was that what I wanted was that every member or anybody that wanted to in the Adelphic Union to write something so that it's deposited in the archives of the lodge, right? What's going to happen in 100 years, right? When hopefully, maybe we're no longer here, but we have family members. They say, oh, wait a minute. My great uncle or my great grandfather was a Mason and he was in the Adelphic Union. Oh, yeah, what year? And when they look at the year, they be like, oh, he was from 2016 to 2050. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Look, well, here's the records from that time, and they get to actually see a picture of you and what you wrote and what you were doing, right? I think that would be cool. So I wanted the brothers in my lodge to do it, and a lot of brothers contributed, and even the brothers outside. I would hope that it could grow, that we could keep getting more people to come, to write, to contribute to the Beehive, which is the newsletter,
Yeah. No,
and
I love that.
traveling to lodges every month. It was like my wife knows I'm outside. That was our slogan actually last year. We outside. I actually got made a song for it. We outside.
Oh,
We outside. We remix Uncle Murder's song.
put the
Music.
link in the in the comments.
Yeah,
Put the
I'm gonna
link
put
in the
it.
comments.
I will put it out there. And we did that. We put that. The brothers loved it. It's just a short clip, like a minute long, and that's what it said. The whole U is outside with it. We outside, right? And it was great because we traveled to other lodges. The brothers were loving it. We're going to other lodges. We're meeting new brothers. Is expanding their network. Is expanding their Masonic knowledge. It was great, and we always moved as a team. It was a bunch of us. It was usually between 13 to 15 of us traveling to a lodge, right? That we had we had a big one where we had the Masonic trial, the traveling
Traveling
trial.
trial.
Traveling trial, yeah.
Right. And we amped it up. We talked our talk. We went and got it. I was surprised. I forgot about it. We got it, and then we had a lodge in the fourth district, no, third district that wanted it. And we had a little friendly rivalry. They
That
came
was
in there
progressive, probably.
progressive. Oh, they
Progressive,
came
yeah.
in. The boys came in. That they even brought the grand out. Well, at the time, he was the deputy grandmaster.
Mhm.
Brought him out of traveling. They came down to the Grand East. The room was full. The room was full with brothers. Brothers trying to get that trial because we was talking so much. But it was the point of the trial was for me. For me, like yeah, we could go back to progressive and get it. That was easy for us. The brothers wanted to go. They were like, we going to their lodge this week. We going back to get it. The brothers in my lodge. I was like, whoa, let's not do that. Let's let Huntington at the time came from Long Island. Almost 2 hours it took them to get down here.
Mm.
But they traveled. I said, let them go get it. Let Doric go get it. So that we could go get, let the brothers and everybody start traveling. Let them go get it. Let them have fun. Let them build their lodges up. We good. We good.
Yeah.
We outside. Yeah, we outside with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we had past Master Don on a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned because he's the one that started the traveling trial
Right.
and got it going from Huntington. So
Yeah.
yeah, that
And
was cool.
they came with numbers, just not
Mhm.
enough. Progressive was deep. Progressive brought people out of retirement. And they even had my man Reggie. Yo, Huntington came out with Reggie. He got his air machine and came out and everything.
Oh yeah,
He's the
yeah, yeah,
machine
exactly.
came out. They thought they
Mhm.
had the
Yeah.
numbers. They was, their chest was out, but Progressive came deep. Progressive
No,
came
that
hard.
fraternalism is serious right there. I mean, that's just
Yes.
that whole that friendly rivalry and that fun that y'all having downstate is pretty
Yeah.
dope. We want to bring that upstate if we can, for sure.
You
I'm
can. Not
curious.
if. Do it. You could do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You could do
absolutely,
it.
absolutely. It's more of a priority and time
Right.
priority thing right now. But I'm curious now, going back to leadership. As you were setting your trestle board and you had these things in terms of visiting lodges and bringing in presenters and lecturers and those sort of things. How did you go about getting buy-in from the brothers to actually do these things? Was it already there? You talked about the well-oiled machine. Was it already established, and you just basically had to say that, we're gonna keep doing what we've been doing. Is if it ain't broke, don't fix it, or did you have to sort of persuade and inspire these men to do these certain things?
Yeah, they were supportive. I put it out there, and the brothers in my lodge, remember, they I guess they was into this stuff already. They've been doing this. They was
Yeah.
supportive. They wanted it. They loved it. They was like, oh yeah, we with that. The brothers, I had brothers wanting to admit that no, you can't do that. To come to us. Nah, we're not doing
Yeah,
that.
just visit. Yeah, who
Just
was
visit.
that? Was that Scotland? Was it Scotland that y'all had came to the y'all lodge one time?
Yes, we had
Yeah, the
Scott, but
Grand
that
Lodge of
was
Scotland came and demonstrated a degree.
a first degree. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, but that wasn't under
yeah,
my administration.
yeah. I know that was
That
with
was
Daquan, right?
with Daquan.
Yeah, I
Yes,
believe under Dave Quan administration, but still,
yeah,
it's something that your lodge did. So that's
yes.
proof
It's
that that type of thing was already part of
Mm,
your lodge. You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It went. Sometimes it's like when an organization, whether it's in the street or brothers put in the work that started the founding fathers,
Mhm.
they put in the work. This is what we're gonna go into too. They put in the work, and then the brothers that are there don't know the struggle that they had to go through, don't appreciate what they went through, and they just living off the name, right? And they able to wear the colors, whether they in the streets, they wearing the colors, the beads, or they in the craft, they throwing up the you, but don't know what that is, right? That's the same thing like today. Today's I tell whether I don't care who you vote for, but our forefathers, our ancestors, you know what they went through to be able
Mhm.
to vote. You know what they had to do. And then you say, "Nah, I don't care about either one of them. I don't like this one, and I don't like that one. I don't want none of them." All right, but it's not that. But you got our your great grandmother, your great grandfather, your uncles. You don't know what they went through to be able to vote, to be able to have a
Mhm.
say, right? And forget about them. We should be voting local anyway. It should be your
Yeah.
local politicians. That's who's going to put the speed bump. But we're not going to talk about politics. Let's
Yeah.
go, because this is
Yeah.
not politics. But my thing is that we got to, people forget about the past, what our past masters went through. What those brothers, even if they wasn't past masters, they were brothers in that lodge that
Mm.
that put in that work, that went outside, that went
Yeah.
there. Like the story of the U, right? Adelphic Union. They were at, I don't know if you ever heard the story, that they were outside, they were at an event, they were small, remember they couldn't open or whatever, and they called out the lodges, but they forgot to call Adelphic Union.
Mhm.
So they said, past master
Gene.
Gene, yeah,
Gene.
it's like, yep, Gene Edwards was like, yeah, you forgot
Mhm.
Adelphic Union. They said, the who? And the you.
You.
And that was it. It started from there. It stood from there, and it grew from there. But that's what that is, to be outside and people trying to, belittle you because you don't have the numbers because you're not outside. These brothers put in
Mhm.
work. They put in that work. And that's for us to continue. So as they were traveling, going, meeting these other scholars and going places, learning masonry, when they seen what I was bringing, they were like, "Oh yes, we need that." I had past masters like Darrell White. I had a few past masters like, "Yo, we needed this. I love what you're doing," and that helped me to it gave me the confidence to continue to do more, to push it. So there's we could do more because when I didn't have no pushback. I didn't have all the past masters support it. They're like, "Let's go forward.
That's a
Let's move."
blessing. That's a
Yes,
blessing.
yes,
Yeah, I mean, you just talk about, resting on, just make sure that your lodge don't rest on the laurels of, what the past masters and brothers did of the past. That's always important. And as masters, sometimes it's hard to get them motivate the newer guys and get them to understand the past so they continue on that because it can slip fast. It don't take
quick.
that long,
Quick, and
real
that's
quick.
where we got to watch in our lodges when this cancer comes in, right? Sometimes there's cancers that come in that want to change things and they don't know what. And we're not saying that that is bad that they come with a new idea. We got to
Hmm.
see what the idea is, and we know it won't work. But then they get upset and want to change things. I seen lodges fighting with that. I'm like, yo, brother, just take your time with it, relax. See what it is. Take your time and move slowly, and or don't come with the we should do XYZ and not have a blueprint of how to do it. You ain't got the blueprint. You say we should fly to the moon, but you ain't got a spaceship. You don't even know how to build a spaceship.
Uh,
Tell me how to do it. Tell me what's your plan. How are we gonna do that? How are we gonna execute this? And how many people you need? How much money you need? Right? And what if the brothers don't want it? Are you gonna be upset,
hmm
or can you just let it go and keep it moving?
Mm. That's a
Right?
great point though too. I mean, masonry is a thinking man's craft. All right. And so we got to always challenge our brothers to use that brain that they have that God gave them.
That's a
And
fact.
so that you challenging brothers to say, hey, come with an idea and the plan. I think that shows great leadership and also just continues to advance the whole point of this thing in terms of creating, just better men who are thinking men. So kudos to you for challenging the brothers to continue to be thinking men, be the man and the Masons that we're supposed to be. So
That's a fact. Thank
that's huge.
Definitely.
you. Thanks.
Will, so we have a classic question on here. What is effective leadership?
Effective leadership, right, is knowing your first of all, knowing your organization, knowing your lodge, and knowing your brothers. So what is that? No, right? For what we are dealing with and what we're here to talk about, Freemasonry. Know what Freemasonry is. Know the rules of Freemasonry, not just what you think Freemasonry is, what and not what your jurisdiction is, but the world of Freemasonry. There's books on this, thousands of books of this. There's millions of people that are Freemason, and each jurisdiction practice a little different, right? But there's a general rule of what Freemasonry is, what's secret and what's not secret, right? Then also learn your jurisdiction rules. What are the rules in your jurisdiction? Who are you in fraternal relationships with? And then learn your brothers. What moves your brothers? What is it that they want, and what is it that you could give them? When you know, right? To know is to have the understanding. Once you have that know how and know what it is, you could lead. You could lead the men to what they came here for, right? What they come here to do, to learn, right? We need to learn. We got to, be careful with our passions and improve ourselves with this thing that we call masonry. What is masonry? Masonry is life, right? So effective leadership is being able to know your rules, know your constitution, know your bylaws, know the brothers in your lodge, know what is it that they're looking for. Right?
Yeah, definitely. All those things are definitely important when it comes to leadership, 100%.
And
Yeah.
with that leadership, with comes responsibility.
Hmm.
Yeah, that leadership, we chose to do this. We volunteered for this. We volunteered to step in this ring, right? Because as a brother, everybody loves you. Everything is great as a brother. No real responsibility. As you start moving up, now all eyes on you. All
Yeah.
eyes on you, and you chose to do this. So do it the right way. Learn your organization. Learn why you here. Learn why the brothers are here. Learn the reason of masonry. What are we doing with this? Are you just want to have a title? No, we doing something with this. Let's do something and be able to set the blueprint and be able to communicate this knowledge and this how you say, like, this way of where you want to go, this path of where you're
Hmm.
going with it. Be able to communicate it. Let them know this is what we're doing. Let's try this. Let's go with it, right? And be willing to step in and do it yourself if you have to. I know Mark said we got to delegate. Sometimes, you got to be able to step in.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Speaking of doing it and the commitment, talk a little bit about the time commitment that you put into the craft, like as a warden. Just so
Yeah.
brothers that are listening right now, elections will be here in a month from now. And brothers are already got aspirations and they want to be a warden, they want to be worshipful master one day. If they are a warden, they want to be master next year or so. So talk a little bit about your time commitment that you put in prior to becoming master, and then talk about what your time looks like now in terms of how you are using your time.
Well, with as a warden, I had to learn the dietary plans of people. Some people don't like this, some people don't like that, right? So what I learned was this: we got a spot around the corner that delivers, and I'm able to sit there and they'll come deliver it. So I was in charge of the food. I was in charge of my first thing was media. It was a lot because I had to reach out to brothers. We and at media, we have a suite. And the way we do it is the brothers donate money for this. Like our large brothers will donate for the food, for the alcohol. If you know, there's always food in our suite, and there's always alcohol, right? That we give to the people. No, let's not say alcohol. Let's say libations, right?
Oh,
There's
too
always
late.
some. There you go. There's always something to drink there. There's music. But we got food there, and we have the people to come, right? And they could come party with us. So that was my first thing. Now we up in Albany. So my thing is like, how do I where we in Albany? I don't know nobody up there. Where am I gonna get the food? How am I gonna get all this? So it took time as I was getting ready to get into junior warden to learn where I'm gonna get the food from, what kind of food, who's gonna donate. I'm just getting to this spot. I gotta call brothers to start donating to our cause. Right. It was a lot as far as uh, dealing with my worship. I had to ask my worship, what do you want? What is it that you need? And once he tells me, I'm getting the job done. I'm going to do whatever, whether it's food, whatever needs to be done. That was my job, right? And I did it. I did it to. I learned the rules of what is expected of a junior warden. Right? It's in our book, Stations and Places. Tells you right there what's expected of you. What's your duty, right? When we go from labor to refreshment, we're there. What does that mean when we do that? The worship is always in charge, but labor to refreshment, are we making sure that our brothers are okay, that they're
Mhm.
that they're ready, that they don't need any assistance, right? And if they
Yeah.
do, then we're the in between. We'll notify the um worshipful master. I also started reading on trials, right? Because that's the junior warden's duty. It's to hold a trial, right? To go through the trial with for the he's the basically like a district attorney, right? He's dealing with the trial. I didn't know anything about that until now I start reading, Masonic charges and start reading that. So no, because it can happen. It happened in a lodges while I was there. I seen, I was like, oh man, a brother that I knew that was good. He got brought up on Masonic charges. And I was like, wow, it was great to listen to hear about it. I spoke to people from his lodge and they explained what's the procedure, what was
Mhm.
going on, which was great because now I learned something else, right, in masonry.
Yeah.
And then I got to when you get to the east that I'm here now, like I said, I had my trestle board was to travel a lot. As my first year, was to travel a lot to bring in these people, these brothers to come speak, to come spread light, and continue the stapled events that my lodge already has. Right. And the second year was to continue that. I was like, oh, I'm already in the groove. The wheel is spinning. My wife knows I'm out a few times a month. I'm out there. She knows that I'm going to a lodge meeting. Brothers are inviting me to different
Mm.
lodges. So I'm with the flow. We outside, we going. And the brothers are loving it. I'm always traveling 7 to 15 brothers are always coming with me wherever we go. They love it. Everybody can't do it because they work, family, whatever. But we going, we outside. So it continued. The now where it started becoming, I started seeing like, oh man, I miss my family reunion, right? Because I had
Mm.
scheduled things that I had to be there. I volunteered to do this, and I gave my word that I would be there. And as far as our jurisdiction, our staple events that we have to be at, right? That when we go to these leadership positions, we have to be at mid-year. We have to be at grand session. We have to
Master
be
session.
at Prince Hall Day. You have to be at the African American Day parade, right? These are things that we have to be there. And now my family reunion falls on that day. Family that I haven't seen in years, a family that we only see each other online, and it seems like we see each other, but really we haven't hugged, we haven't shaken
Mm-hmm.
our family's hand, we haven't really embraced each other, right? And it's been years, and that becomes a sacrifice when I have to travel or I can't travel because I got an event. I got an event that I can't go, so we got to postpone, or it's gonna cost me a little bit more because I gotta leave the day of or come right back. So yes, it starts to become a little bit more, but I can't complain. I still have fun. I loved it. I loved it. Yes.
The sacrifice part is very important, and I'm glad you worded it that way because it's
Mhm.
definitely a sacrifice when you have to put off those things in order to, be the best leader you can be. Fortunately, I know you are a very young man, but you are retired at this point.
Ha,
So
yes,
that freed up a little more of your time to
yes,
be able
yes.
to do some things that somebody like me, I'm still working, so I had to juggle it to get things done. But luckily everything,
Yeah.
most of the stuff was in the daytime.
Mm.
But
And you know
um
what? You
yeah.
say retired, right? I did, but then it's somehow, some way, my wife found more stuff for me to do. It
Oh,
feel like
it's
I'm more busy now. I told her, listen, my name is Will. Why you keep calling me Ken you? I'm not Ken you. My name is Will. She's like, what? Yeah. She goes, can you do this for me? Can you take me here? She said, all right. Well, I won't call you Ken you. will you take me here? Will you do this for me? I was like, oh, here we go. You got it. All right, you got it.
Well, at least she asking. She should have been
Yeah.
like, "You doing this and you doing that and you doing
Yeah, she but what
that."
was it? She volunteers me.
Yeah,
Instead of volunteer,
volunteers
she
you. Yeah, I mean,
volunteers me what we doing. Yeah.
yeah, that's
She
part of the
asked.
family.
Yeah, she
That's
asked,
all
but
it
I gotta
is.
do it. Yeah.
Of
But I
course. I
love doing
mean,
that. I love being with the fam too.
yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, we gotta definitely learn how to juggle family and everything like that when it comes to these positions. That's why the first tool we get is very important because we wouldn't be
Yes.
able to balance everything out without it. I know you mentioned a few of your heavy hitters you have in your lodge as far as Grand Lodge officers, and I know they was in different positions at different times, different at the time. But how was it as worshipful master having these, higher officers in your lodge and, dealing with them, knowing who they are, and they members of your lodge? Was it intimidating? Were you able to juggle it, and it wasn't too much of a big deal? How did you handle that as a leader?
Nah, it wasn't a big deal. A leader's gonna recognize a leader, right? Like when you go like right now, the world leaders come sit together. Then when they go sit and talk, they recognize a soft person and when somebody that's not soft or that knows what they're doing, right? So I
Mhm,
think my PMs knew that I knew what I was doing. Like I really love this, I really do this, right? And they played their position, right? And remember that my lodge is something is a culture that's there already. None
mhm,
of my elected or appointed Grand Lodge officers wear their Grand Lodge jewels to our lodge. They wear their
mhm,
past master's apron, right? They come in as a lodge member. They know that the worshipful master leads. And I've had it with a few. I had people tell me that they was like, "Oh, come on, we here too long. Worsh. These are Grand Lodge officers. We here. We it's too long." All the other brothers love it. I'm like, okay, well, we prayed in, we prayed out. You free to go. You know,
mhm.
you can leave. It is what it is. I had brothers say, "Yo, not we doing a degree. Why you gonna let them do a lecture?" Like, because it's important for that brother. That past master. This is his 30th year anniversary as being an enter apprentice, and we got some in between time. And this is a PM that's telling me, "Nah, don't let him talk. Nah, he's gonna talk. Thank you for your concern, but now he's gonna do this." So as the worst, they let the worst lead. They play their position, and from what I know, they wasn't angry. They made, they understood their point. They were, hey, they be okay. We good. We went right through it, right? So
Mhm.
I didn't see any my PMs. I don't know. They know what they're doing. I got the best pass masters. Like
Yeah.
I think it's the machine is oiled already. They already know what it is. They know it.
But I think I believe that you gave the major clue when you said they know that you know what you're doing.
Mm,
They can see that you prepared yourself and understood your position and understood your powers and things like that, and know that you was trying to do what was best for the craft. So once that is, like the word I use, that's the keys to the past master's heart. When they were like, okay,
mm,
I'm good, let
Right.
them
You're right.
rock.
You're right.
You know,
You're right. Because
'cause
this is
that's the
something
only
that they
time they're gonna
love.
step in. Past master's only gonna step in if it's something crazy or you have an egotistical past master. Then that's a whole another ball game.
mm,
But the other PMs will at least the other PMs will, they'll let them know you wrong. It's still a
Hmm.
democracy. We still vote. Now,
Yeah.
I think the PM, what I could see is when, and I could never have this to me. I never wanted this. I remember going down to a lodge downtown and there was a past master that was controlling the whole situation. Like he's
Hmm.
walking around and screaming and talking, and the worst was just sitting there, sunk in his seat, and didn't know what he was doing. I was like, "Oh, that can't be me." And the
Yeah.
brothers that were with me, I said, "No, we
mm,
got to learn what our rules are. Learn masonry. How are you gonna go sit in that Oriental chair and don't know how to lead? No."
Hmm.
So my lodge, they've been teaching me or teaching us. We teach the line how to lead, right? So I could see a PM stepping in if they have a weak worshipful master, right? I've
Hmm.
seen like so. What I've started observing, traveling and going to lodges, the worst doesn't know what he's doing. The worst doesn't
Yeah.
understand he doesn't understand the Constitution. He doesn't
Hmm.
understand the bylaws, his own bylaws. He doesn't understand
Hmm.
masonry. He
Hmm.
doesn't know masonry. I know he doesn't, and that's because the lodge is probably suffering. The lot, not, or I like to. I don't want to use a negative word of suffering, but rebuilding, right? They trying
Hmm.
to build the lodge back up and they put a brother in there. So the PMs are in the background telling them what to do. which
Mm.
as a junior warder, you should already see like, yo, I'm gonna make it to the East. This is my goal. And I say that to every brother that comes in. As soon as they master mason, if that's your goal to become a worshipful master, start learning from now. Start reading the books, learn masonry, travel, and observe what's going on, right? Observe the craft, learn masonry. So when you get there, you understand what you're doing. Now like the lion that had to follow the yellow brick road and build courage and be able to lead heavy hitters, men, alphas that are dominant men. That's something that's within ourselves that actually that we have to work on to make ourselves be able to tell somebody no, or tell somebody this is what we're doing that keeps going against you. That's trying to tell you to do something else. And but you know the rules and you know how to, like Tai Chi, go with the flow and control it a
Mhm.
certain way. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
Nicely with decorum.
With
Right?
decorum.
with the
With
call.
decorum.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing, and I agree 100% with what you just said. In terms of knowing your job and showing your proficiency, reading the books, building yourself up. It's one thing to tell a brother that's new to do these things. It's another thing to actually show him and to actually him actually do it. And so I'm curious, like you have the culture built in Adelphic Union. Is there anything that you could share with our listeners in terms of how you ignite that fire within that man that says, yes, I told you to read the book. In other lodges, 9 times out of 10 is going one ear and out the other, unless there's a fire inside that man. At least that's what I've observed. So I'm curious about like how you get another man who's coming there of his free will and accord to actually do the things that you told him to do.
Well, not it's hard, and I've had it. I've had people that I vouch for, and not to join the lodge, but like, nah, this brother, I'm gonna put him on the line, or he could be on the line, and they don't have it, right? But I'm telling them what to do, and they say they're gonna do it, they don't, right?
Mm,
We are blessed to have a lot of brothers at the lodge that are waiting, that want to jump
mm,
online,
mm,
so they there. So if you want it, it's here for you, but you got to put in the work. If not, you'll fall by the side, right? We have right now. I have 5 inch apprentice, right? And they got initiated September 24th. And we're going through the book and I'm telling them, listen, if everything works out in November, you'll be a fellow craft, but from what I'm looking at, all of you probably won't make it. There's gonna be a process. You probably won't make it because one of the brothers could read the book front to back. Two of them
Mhm.
could read it. The other ones are not. You could tell that we know, just like our PMs know if we know what we're doing, right? You can see who's been practicing. You
mm,
can see. So when the brother said, when I said, well, we don't gave you the book, we don't gave you the blueprint. This is what you have to do to be this leader. There's pamphlets. Like my lodge has pamphlets and
yeah, right, yeah.
books. They got a whole bunch of stuff that I know Kev shares with everybody. Right? He done
Mhm.
gave it to the craft. You go to the library and get the books. You ain't put the work in. We can see it. We can see it. And when it's time for you to put that work in, and we give you the opportunity and you fall on your face, we gave you the opportunity. You can't now you only can blame yourself. Right.
Mm,
So these brothers that we told them they don't do it, we tried. We gave you the
mm,
opportunity. I'm of the school of listen, I'm gonna give you a chair and I'm gonna give you a rope. You can hold yourself up with that rope, make a rocking chair, or you can hang yourself.
mm,
It's on you. It's on you. We gave you the tools that you need.
yeah.
Right? And if you need extra tools, you need extra help. There's more than that. Any brother is willing to help. There's a lot of
Mhm.
brothers that are willing to help.
But
I
That
you
are
think it
gotta
willing.
open
helps.
your mouth and ask.
That's
Yeah,
it. That was the
yeah.
key thing. Ask, right? You ask, seek, and knock.
Yep, yep. So I mean, having those brothers that are on the sidelines that's hungry, like, okay, you don't want to do it, I'm going to do it. That
Exactly.
helps. Having that pressure. I'm gonna use the
Yeah.
word pressure. Having that pressure
Yeah.
helps. Every lodge isn't fortunate to have that type of energy, which is great
Mhm.
that Adelphic Union has that. And so, if you can create that culture where brothers are eager to want to step up, and that you got brothers on the sideline just ready to fill in on a moment's notice, I mean, that puts a lot of
And
that
have that
brings that camaraderie, that
noble
competitive nature.
contention.
That
That
yeah,
Yeah.
noble
that
contention.
noble contention, noble
Contention.
keyword noble.
Noble
And the
contention.
thing is to like if you know my lodge is we have a diverse is a what if not the most one of the most diversified lodges in the jurisdiction. Sons of
Mhm.
Kings is there too, but we have a lot of different ages, races, different personalities in there, right? So we coming with that difference, we you can learn from everything. You can
Mhm.
learn from everyone. The thing is just when these brothers come in, it's teaching them what we're doing. This is not something that's just that like there's nothing hidden with it, right? We're telling you right up front, this is what we do.
Mhm.
This is what you want. If you're gonna come with that negative energy, it's not gonna work. And my PM, so the coach is already established. My PMs that are there, there's nobody trying to dominate, nobody trying to run everything. If they do, the other PMs will sit them down. Like you're doing too much. Relax.
Mhm.
So when these other lodges, when they don't have that, and we let this cancer in, it'll destroy your lodge. It'll destroy the lodge. When they start breaking into little groups, cliques, it'll destroy your lodge. It'll destroy when you have people saying, you know, there's past masters run it, right? The past masters don't want to run it. They did their thing. Or that these new guys, they run it too crazy. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know masonry. Well, then teach them. Then teach them. So when our lodges within the Adelphic Union, the PMs, they're willing to help. They're willing to come out. They
Yeah.
come out to our study class, right? You got Grand Lodge officers coming to a study class, listening. And if you ask them a question, they jump right in. I had a class where I told this a few weeks ago, I right on the spot, PM, can you explain this and do this lecture real quick? Jumped right on it. He said, "Oh, I wasn't ready, but yeah, I got you," and went right into
Yeah.
a lecture explaining stuff. Right. So this now, when you got brothers that are coming in and want to divide or come in with that ego, that could destroy your lodge. You
Mhm.
can't, you got to be able to know that, yo, listen, these brothers are they're dividing the lodge. Don't let that happen. Don't let that cancer in. Right. We got
Yeah.
to be careful with that. We got to
Yeah.
be careful with
Protect the
that.
West Gate at all times. All times.
What happens when they inside already?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to
We
pay
got something for
attention,
that
like you
too. Yeah.
said. You just got to pay attention. That's what
You
it
get
is.
that
The,
charge every year. Yeah, that
yo,
worshipful
Yeah.
master charge.
I
That
remember
Mhm.
my
installation.
first year for my line. I bought some pins, some lapel pins, and it was the beehive. And I
Mhm.
Mhm.
gave everybody in my line. I wrote a small lecture and I explained that the beehive it represents industry and work, and that every brother here is expected to work. Right? We volunteer to be on this line, but the bee that doesn't work is called a drone, and
Wrong.
he's useless. Right? A drone is useless. Useless. They don't. There's nothing. They're kicked out the beehive. They're
Mm.
kicked out of the hive, right? Eventually, they're
Mm.
kicked out. So if there's a drone in your midst, know who it is, know what it is, and what they're trying, right? To
Yeah.
be able to kick them out, right? And it
Well,
could sometimes just one person. You don't got to kick them out, but shun them. Let them
yeah,
know.
just
You know.
saying, yeah, exactly. To a certain extent, yeah, you
Mm.
shun them not brotherly, but this is stopping from doing certain things. You got to pay attention to it, and it's just like anything else, right? What we supposed to do. If you hear somebody gossiping, you're not supposed to get in with the gossiping. Brother, cut
Facts.
that out. We don't gossip here. Stuff like that.
Facts.
So you
Yeah.
cut it off when you see those cancers there. So you got to pull out
Yes.
a different tool, you know,
Call
Yes.
it out.
make sure
Yep.
that it don't spread. So that's
Yes.
definitely one of the major goals in there. Will, I know you have accomplished a lot and you have got a lot of highlights during your 2 years as worship master. What are some of your highlights, most proudest moments or moment you had as worship master?
Oh man, I got from last year. I think it was December 16th or 17th when I got installed till now.
Mhm.
Every day's been a proud moment. I love this. Tell you, it's every day I love this. Now I've have done some things, right?
Mhm.
One thing, if you don't know, I know Mark knows. I'm black. I have African American is black, but I'm black and Puerto Rican. Right, so this is perfect for me. Prince Hall being a black jurisdiction, and Puerto Rico. Right, I have my ties in Puerto Rico, so I was able to. I know Mark. I remember going to session, and they said, we see that Prince Hall, Puerto Rico, we want to recognize them. You did the CCFC report. Like, what? And this ain't going through yet. So I was able to help push it, going back and forth. And I was just happened to be one day. I was in Puerto Rico with the Grandmaster of Puerto Rico, and uh, I know they were saying with the CCFC, they were saying the CCFC writes the report or the Grand Secretary, but at the time, I knew who the Grand Secretary was. He was in my lodge. Right. So that's I got a direct line to him. So I call him. I'm saying, listen, what's going on? I'm over here. He was like, well, guess what? I'm with the Grandmaster right now. I put the two Grandmasters on the phone. Next thing you know, they was done deal. Done deal. They voted on it. It was done. They had, for the viewers that don't know, we had official amity, right? Because we had there's the unofficial stuff where I was going and they recognized that we're a regular jurisdiction and they'll let me into a lodge. But now we have it on paper that we officially have amity with them. It's on paper. So I was able to help facilitate that. And the Grand Master of Puerto Rico, shout out to him, Rodriguez Ruiz Rosario. He asked if he could make me a representative of Prince Hall on the island. It's like, oh man, that would be great. I don't know if he did it yet or what he's doing with it. He's still in office, but he did offer. He asked if I could become a representative on the island. So now that I got that, right, that was great. We went to their session. I go to their session and they read it out. We recognized Prince Hall. It went through. Everybody's clapping and they received me. I'm speaking my English, Spanish, going back and forth with them. It was
Spanglish.
Spanglish. They speak different, right? It was cool. And the brothers show a lot of love. I sent brothers over there. I had a brother from your lodge, Mark, go over there
Mhm.
recently, and he met up with some of the
Eddie.
brothers over there. Yes,
Mhm.
Ed, and he met up with one of the brothers from a town called Ponce, where my wife is from, at a cigar shop. That the brother owns a cigar shop, and they kicked it. They had a good time together. Right now, what happens? I have some brothers from 23rd Street. 23rd Street has a district, the 10th Manhattan district, where there's a lot of ethnic lodges, right? They have an Italian lodge, Garibaldi. They have a French lodge. They have a Haitian lodge, a Spanish lodge, um, Greek lodges. There hasn't been they have a Dominican lodge, Juan Pablo Duarte. There hasn't been a Puerto Rican lodge. So I had some brothers from down there reach out to me. They visit the U all the time. I know them from the Bronx. I know, and they're like, "Yo, we want to start a Puerto Rican lodge. Will, we want you to come in." I think they didn't know that we can't do dual
Dual
membership.
membership.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they are members of multiple lodges. They wanted me as one of the principal officers, and I could. I said, "Listen, I love it. I'm supporting whatever you want to do. I'm with it." And from the beginning, I was there. So I helped set up that lodge from the beginning, from everything from choosing a name, which is called Awebana, which is he was a Taino chief that when Ponce de Leon, the Spaniard, came, knew that this man was the chief he respected him so much because of his intelligence,
Mhm.
right? He's seen him as an equal. And his brother, I wait one out a second. They was like, why he is a whole story with him. He actually cut one of their heads over, like, yo, these are regular men, look, and killed them because the people fear like, yo, these guys got big dogs or horses. They haven't seen those. So they see these people
Mhm.
coming. But anyway, Awebana, we named it Awebana. I helped them find us a home. I'm like, yo, you can meet at 23rd, which is cool. But where are the people at? Where are the Puerto Rico? Where the community that you're trying to reach? The people that you're trying to reach at in the Bronx, right? That's the majority. That's a heavy population, and the brothers got down with that. The they the principal officer, the brothers at away, but I treat me like I'm one of them. Like they make me feel like I'm at home. Like that's my
Mhm.
lodge, right? And so anyway, they went through. They under dispensation now. They
Nice.
under dispensation. The September 26th, they had a big thing over there. We had over 150 people in the building, and Adelphic Union was there. They had me speak in front of 150, 100 and something people in there. And I'm not a speaker. Me and Mark talk about this before, where he send me videos and we send each other videos on how to speak and public speaking. We're blue collar workers. Like, right, we're blue collar workers. I don't have to speak in front of people. I don't have to speak proper English, right? Although we should, because that's one of our liberal arts, right?
Mhm.
Is to be able to
Mhm.
speak right. So, which is great. What makes he taught me to be able to speak in front of people. This is what I'm saying. This craft, this thing, there's alchemy going on that we don't see it. but it's happening, right? There's alchemy being able to speak in front of people, being able to talk with taking that ashla that's working on yourself. I'm able to talk in front of people. I'm comfortable talking in front of people, even though I may not articulate myself. My tone, my accent may be a little different, a little Brooklyn, but I'm here. We outside with it, right? And so we took that lodge, and right now they're under UD. And their first order of business was to make me and two other brothers from my lodge, uh, Dennis Martinez and Nelson Soto, honorary members. Right? And it's something that we take serious. Like, yo, some people see our honorary member as just a, okay, yeah, you honorary, just titles that we was giving out. Right. It's another thing I learned. An honorary member is a member of your lodge. He actually has rights in your lodge. The only thing he can't do is vote. But when he says, yo, I need to see the books, honorary member can see the books. I don't remember when you have a trial or something private going on. Honorary member is there. When you ask everybody, can y'all step out? Honorary member doesn't have to step out. Out of respect, he should, right? Because it may be something private that he's not really active in your lodge, but they actually are members of your lodge, members of your jurisdiction. We had a situation when I brought Damon Jack over. I don't know if you heard about him, Mark, where the
I don't think so.
CCFCs were going, like, they were saying that Damien Jack had to go through their Grand Lodge and back and forth because he's a visiting brother or Grand Lodge officer. It was something with that. But when it got to it,
Unnecessary complex
yeah, it's kind of
complexity.
unnecessary. But when it got to it,
Unnecessary complexity.
he was already an honorary member. He didn't have to do it. He's an
Yeah.
honorary member. He doesn't have to do it. Then they didn't know that he was an honorary member. You should have said he was an honorary member. He doesn't have to. Yeah, he's coming in. Right? He's on our rolls. He's in our and my rolls. He's on the rolls of our Adelphic Union honorary member.
As
Right? He
honorary
gets
member.
our newsletter. Our news letter. He gets it. He gets all our emails. They get it. Even the brothers down at 23rd. There's some brothers like Sam Kinsey, a few brothers like, yo, I like this newsletter because now I'm up to date with what's going on in the lodge. You be more up to date, just come out and visit. Just come through. Come chill with us. Okay.
Just sort of for the viewers know, just real quick, when you said the 23rd, he's talking about the Grand Lodge in New York. That's
yes, sorry, yes.
That's for anybody that's listening as like, what the heck is he talking about? 23rd, the Grand
State
Lodge
Lodge.
New York.
Right, the State Lodge. And I've had discussions with brothers. They don't know they say with the mainstream and all that. I don't stay mainstream. To say mainstream is to say that there's a side
Prince Hall
stream.
isn't that, or there is a side stream. Is to say that Prince Hall isn't mainstream.
Mainstream, right? We mainstream. So I say State Grand Lodge and
Lodge,
Prince Hall
Prince
Grand
Hall
Lodge.
Grand Lodge.
That's it.
That's the most proper way to say it.
Exactly. And we were down at Kev went down to a Masonic symposium down at in Philadelphia. Yes, yeah, you remember. And they asked about that. What do we call it? And because they're it's observant masonry, and they say words are important. And my senior warden brought it up. He explained why it's not mainstream, and Prince Hall is actually we are mainstream. And he explained the brothers loved it because they don't know what to say. They don't know what Prince Hall is. They don't know. They know, of course, they know we're a regular jurisdiction, but they're not comfortable asking. Well, we'll bring it forth to them. I was down at Grand Lodge, New York, downtown, and they didn't know our ritual. I'm like, our ritual came from the same ritual you use. It's the same ritual. It's what they want to. They asking questions. What's his name?
Nezadine.
Nezadine. It's the same ritual that you guys use. We still use the first charge, the opening charge and closing charge. They have an option to use
it.
Yeah, definitely.
Just getting back to leadership on this one, man. This is a lot of good sidebar light for sure.
Exactly.
Keep me focused, keep me focused.
It's all good, man. We got listen, man. Our first conversation. I wish we got to get that the lost tapes. We got to get that out here because there's some jewels on there for sure. Getting back to leadership though. Now this is your second year, so I got to say thank you. 2 years in that chair. Even though you said it was you had a blast. It's been nothing but beautiful for you these last 2 years. God bless you, brother, for that. That's those 2 years. I don't know if you plan on going back in the chair again next year or not, but if you could imagine as a past master. So usually we talk about you going back into the chair again, what you will focus on, but as a past master, have you thought about how you want to show up as a leader in the Adelphic Union and in the jurisdiction?
Yes. Yes, I want to
Real,
show
real
up.
quick sidebar. I sent the article that Hudson sent me, I sent it to him. So
Mm,
he's
Yes,
getting prepared to think about after
mm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You see, I jumped on it. Yes, I already know what it is. But I'm gonna play my position, just like my past masters played their position, and be
Okay.
ready to help as soon as I can. Right. So with my junior warden, senior warden, my goal this year was to prepare them for the East, give them leadership roles. That yo, here, this is you. You know, to show them that yo, this is all on you. I can't make it to order study class now. I can't do everything. This is you. I can't make it to the lodge. I'm gonna be late. You open, you do it, right? And they were able to do it. I'm proud of my senior warden and junior warden. You know, they stepped up and did what they had to do. So now we got this is gonna go 360, where we was going back earlier. My lodge prepared us. They prepared us to go through these seats. They prepared me from some recording secretary moving up this progressive line because I wanted it. I wanted to do it. They prepared me to be a leader, and I hope I was able to do it to my senior warden and junior warden. My senior warden is more than ready. You know, he may be a little nervous, but I tell him this is it. This is where we at. This is you there. You have it. And if you don't, there's always a brother willing to help.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody there. Use your past masters. They want it. They want to help. As soon as you tell them to jump in I had my senior deacon was running late. I had my past master Raul Rodriguez PM. Can you jump in the senior deacon? He jumped right up, no questions, right in there, jumped right in, right,
Mm-hmm.
jumped in and spoke. Uh, Kev, I had him do a lecture impromptu. Yo, Kev, I need a lecture. Can you do it? Boom, jump right in.
Got you.
Last year, my senior warden, he got sick. Daquan, can you jump in and do a degree? Right, a couple of day notice, jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's my plan is to be there as a past master. If he needs anything, he needs any help, I'm there to help him. Right, and what I did get, which I found funny or weird, and it didn't register till now. Later on, they was like, "Yo, I know a lot of people. Once you get that PM, people stop coming around. I hope you could still go to your lodge and keep coming around." I was like, "What you mean? Don't
Mhm.
come around?" They're like, "Yeah, nah, they just stopped coming. People start." I said, "Nah, I love the you. I love Freemasonry. I'm gonna always be here. I'm always gonna be doing Freemasonry." So, and then I started realizing, like, oh snap, that's right. There's PMs that just stopped coming. That you're like, yo, they're not in their lodges no more. Where are they? What happened to them? They fell off the map. Like, I don't know. They had a bad year and their lodge, or they got what they wanted and they're gone, or they're focused on other
Yeah, other
appendant
things.
bodies.
That's what it is. It could be appended bodies or just life, man. Because as you know, going through those years on the line, it's 5 to 7 to 12, depending on how many, and they could be very intense, especially once you go into the principal officers chairs. And sometimes brothers need a break.
But Mark, I asked you this: isn't it? What are we? Is it masonry something that we live, that we doing? Like this is just part of the life, just something that we do.
I understand that, but that don't mean you got to be at the meetings all the time. You can still take a break from meetings. I'm not saying that you have to whatever. But some people, if they have to juggle, that's how life works. Sometimes you got to put it off on the side. They might come back. A lot of them, they be around for the most part. Unless they had a bad year and the law did them wrong. I'm gonna say or something to that effect, and then they might just disappear. But for the most part, after those years, brothers want to take a little break.
That's a conversation to have, though. That's a
I still
masterful
don't agree
conversation to
with it.
have, though, about
Yeah,
like, should
Yeah,
that be the case? Well, not should. Let's talk
yeah.
about when that's the case, how
Hmm.
that comes about, and how we might need to be rethinking about that. How we think about it as the men that are remaining in the lodge, and how we need to rethink of that as terms of the men that may be on the sideline and need the break, if you will. Because
but
that's
that
a real
beehive still
thing.
got to be built. That
That's a
beehive
Yeah.
that we
yeah,
doing, he still needs honey. That
Oh
beehive
yeah,
don't
yeah,
stop.
definitely,
So you
definitely.
that's a
still a bee.
conversation for sure.
It is a
Yeah, I just
conversation,
that
and we're
my
gonna have
point
it.
is don't
Hold on.
judge them too hard because life,
But look,
Yeah,
but
like
if they was
life be a life
disgruntled,
and
if they were disgruntled in this lodge, right? And they don't like their lodge, they don't like the brothers in their lodge. There's something that every brother could do. Demit, go to another lodge, right?
yeah,
You
that's
don't
true.
have to stay there. Why I'm gonna be someplace or go in there and be with a face and the brothers don't like me, I don't like them. That's not the place for me to be, right?
Yeah,
Some
one
people
hundred
say, "Oh,
percent.
y'all give up too quick, y'all just leave." Nah, I'm not here to play with you and be debating and fighting with you. You don't like me, I don't like you. Fine. right? You go there, I go here. But I love Freemasonry, right? Nobody gonna stop me from doing Freemasonry. I love going to a lodge meeting, a building with brothers. I don't see them. Why would you stop coming? You know, maybe to your lodge, the lodge, but go to another lodge. Now, time reasons, right? Like, yo, I haven't spent time with my family.
Yes, I'm
This was
saying
something
things
that
like
you
that.
haven't,
Yeah.
that you should have incorporated. It's only once a month that we meet. You could incorporate it into
Why are you lying to people, Will? It's only once a month that we meet. You just said you meet once a month. Your lodge alone have a study class every Friday.
Every Friday. Every Friday. Yes.
He's talking about the meetings, not the class. He's talking about the
That's
meetings.
all part of the times you got to be there.
Yeah. But you're required every fourth Tuesday at one, you know, the study classes. We want
yeah,
you
that's what
there.
I'm saying. As we're talking about as a worshipful master, there's a whole lot of extra stuff you got to do. A member, yeah, once a month or
Right.
master.
But I think you were talking about like the past masters that are now members. I mean, you're a past master, so you are technically your obligations are more member like than master like.
Right.
It's like I think he's saying like brothers are just like they just don't even come to the one meeting a month no more.
I guess
Right. And now there's another thing, right? As a member, right? Our lodge, we just had our gala, which is, and I want to tell the new brothers and tell brothers, because we all have events, right? And our gala is a fundraiser. And what happens with this fundraiser is we raise funds, and that helps pay our per capita, that helps pay our rent, that helps pay the Tyler's fee, right? It helps us do things. So I tell the brothers, and we're trying to implement the brothers, like support your large events, support your gala, support your fundraiser, because when that money is in, right? You have the money coming in, you have enough money in your bank account. You ain't got two people arguing about, let's have a fish fry, let's have a bowling game. Let's go, let's do this fundraiser, let's different fundraisers that they're trying to argue about. Let's have a cigar event. No, why don't we have a fish fry? Let's have a Valentine's Day party, right? Once you have your gala or your staple events that's bringing in income, your lodge could function. The bills are paid. Now the extra stuff you could work on, right? When the bills are paid, people on, it's even in marriage. When the money's right, the marriage is
one less
good. Y'all not
argument.
fighting.
Yeah.
It's no argument. When your bills ain't right, when you trying to build money, now I want to do a cigar event, and Mark wants to do a gala, and now we arguing. Guess what? Mark got people that's with him, and he loses. He gonna be like, you know what? I'm going to your cigar event. And you know what? Now I'm like, well, I'm not going to the gala. If I lose, I ain't going.
That's not Masonic. But
It's
at the
not
same
Masonic,
time,
but it happens.
yeah, it definitely does happen. At the same time, I mean, supporting your large events and things like that, just part of your duty as a Mason. So we all should know that.
Yes.
And the time is running late. We don't want to be on here forever because I know we'll chop it up forever. Me and Will could be on the phone for 3 hours.
Yeah, I probably did a whole shift with him. He be walking doing delivering mail. I'm doing a shift with him talking.
So, Will, we definitely thank you for being on the show not once but twice, and hopefully one day we'll be able to uncover and unbury those jewels that's in the bottom of the temple that's locked up in Zoom.
Yeah.
We'll find those. But tonight we want to thank you for the jewels that you had spread with us. We thank you for allowing thank you for jewels such as
Hold
proper.
up. You ain't asked me the question y'all ask everybody.
Oh,
The
you want to know?
question.
The hypothetical question. All right. Hypothetically, I guess
I switched it. I remixed it. I remixed it for you.
Changed a little bit, but all right. So you so much of a fan, we definitely gonna give you the question.
There
All right. What if you was worship master next year? What would you focus on?
Damn. See, now I wasn't.
Now you don't even know. Come on.
But look, so with my lodge, right? Because like I said, I love the machine, and I hope I contributed to the machine. I will focus on the funds, having that investment account, making that investment account. Like I said, what I remember on the last tape, we visited a lodge in Jersey, and the brothers had $500,000, and they said that's nothing. There's other lodges with $1 million in there, right? And millions of dollars in their account. There's brothers $500,000 in there. I'm like, yo, damn. With that, with $500,000, we could do some help. We could do something with that. We could give out a nice scholarship to a brother, to somebody, to like, yo, you know what? How do we get there though? So that if I could do it,
join Illuminati.
Stop saying that. You know,
I'm sorry. I'm
they gonna
sorry. I'm
really think
sorry.
that.
I
Come on,
couldn't
they
pass
gonna,
that up. I'm sorry.
you
I
know,
couldn't
they
pass
gonna
that up.
really think that. You know, you got
You
these
know I'm
You know
weirdo.
we don't
joking.
edit on this show, right?
No, yeah, no, I'm joking. I stopped
You
you from doing the same thing last
know,
week, man. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
yeah. But if I would focus on getting that, like that would be my whole energy is just to focus on that. Is to get that investment account set up to where we get in return on investment, right? Something small. It could be investing in the S&P 500 that we have the extra funds that we had, not just sitting in a bank account.
Mm,
That is sitting in even a high yield saving account. It was at 5% just to get that income coming in, right? And
yeah.
from there, also a life insurance. I will have that
Mm,
somehow. Like I said, I don't want to just put it out there and not know how to do it. It would take
mhm.
me time to sit there and think about it and get the information
Yeah.
and the knowledge of how to do it. Like when a brother comes in, a percentage of their dues goes to this life insurance where when they pass, the lodge will receive and their family will receive some, right?
Yeah.
And that's as a large thing, not as the grand lodge, just as a large thing that our brothers will have, that their family will have, plus the lodge could benefit. And
Well, those are definitely something you could work on as a past master. So hopefully, your lodge has that same idea, and then y'all could work that on. And as the U does, and you can pass it down through the whole jurisdiction. And a case of Malcolm Douglas watching that, yeah, we know we used to have that program somewhere through the Grand Lodge before, in which we had the life insurance program. So
Mm,
it has been done before within our jurisdiction. Hopefully, we can get back to that.
And that's how that brother, the lodge that had $500,000, they say, yo, a brother died and left them money. A brother
Mm,
from their jurisdiction. It was Grand Lodge,
mm,
New Jersey. He said, a
mm,
brother died and left us a nice chunk of money. Right. I was
mm.
like, wow, that's something that us as a community got to get. First, we got to get used to even talking about death and talking about life insurance and talking about, where this money's gonna go. So once you get past that stigma of death, there's it teaches us in a third degree, but it's gonna happen,
Yeah,
guaranteed, guaranteed.
definitely, definitely.
Now if you could have a life insurance and send a little $5,000-$10,000 to your lodge, and the rest go to your family, that 10,000 will help. It'll pay the
I
per
mean,
capita,
whatever it is, yeah, exactly. I
whatever
know
it is.
I have something written from mine to go to my lodge.
That's
So
what's
let's
up.
that's
And that but that's the key, Mark. See, you already
yeah.
started it. You did
Hmm.
it, right? I
Yeah.
do it. Wags will do it, but we got to tell the bros too what we're doing and let them
Yep.
know that this is it. So this is something that I want to implement that's what I would do next year is implement that. And I would
Hmm.
also implement the importance of why we do our fundraisers, how that prevents the fighting, the infighting. So when we're
Hmm.
not fighting about what uh fundraiser we got to do, we're
Hmm.
practicing masonry. I could bring in lecturers. We could have a lecture. We could have a Masonic Jeopardy game. We could have things talk masonry instead of debating about, yo, we should do this. No, we got to vote. If this is against the Constitution. We ain't got to do all of that. That's already the money's there. The money's
Yeah,
there already. Our bills are paid. Let's have fun. Let's do masonry. Let's
gotcha.
let's continue to
definitely.
show the world masonry. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
exactly. Definitely, definitely,
I tell you,
definitely.
don't get me on the go, man. Say you
Yeah,
got it.
exactly,
Why you
exactly.
gonna
All
interrupt
right,
me
Say
no
so
less,
more?
my brother. Say
exactly.
less, my brother.
Yes.
Say
All
less.
right. Again, Will, we thank you for everything you have done and what you have said and what you are currently doing for the craft. And I myself continue to look forward to your growth in the craft and our continued growth as brothers and friends.
Thank you,
Um,
bro.
again, the jewels you have dropped tonight, knowing effective leadership is knowing your organization, your brothers, and your lodge. If you want to be master, get yourself prepared now. Don't wait. Do it right now. And I'm gonna say you always a flip side to everything. So make sure you're watching out for the bad things in your lodge too. Avoid clicks and watch out for the cancers that's already inside the lodge. Yes, you can watch the gate, go guard the west gate, but sometimes there's things inside the lodge, and you have to learn how to handle those properly so that that thing don't spread and your lodge stays nice and healthy because we always want a healthy lodge.
Damn, how you
Absolutely.
do that, Mark? Hey,
I'm
you
the
The,
summary
fantastic.
guy.
Wow,
the
you
attentive
yeah,
ear. The attentive
yeah,
ear, my
attentive
brother.
ear.
The attentive ear.
Wow, that was
Yes,
good.
yes. Yeah, I have
That
to
was-
echo Mark's sentiments as well. Much appreciation to you, Worshipful Master Green. We appreciate you, Will, for being here 2 times, sharing the story twice, with a little extra on this one. This one feels a little different than the first time. So definitely appreciate the new jewels that you definitely shared with us. being in that seat for 2 years again, thank you for your service to the craft. Thank you for your service to Adelphic Union. Thank you for holding the torch. The U continues to be, just that spotlight, that jewel in the craft in terms of, illustrating and exemplifying what a lodge is all about. At least I see it from the outside looking in. I don't know how the inside workings are, but from the outside looking in, the U continues to be that example of what a lodge is supposed to look like, from the fraternalism, from how you operate and how you handle your business. It all looks on up and up. It all feels right. Whenever we're out, we see each other at mid-year, we see each other at grand session. You all seem to be really tight, which is great to see. This is really what we're all about, and it looks like brothers are growing as men and as Masons, which is what the whole point of this whole thing is about. And so, kudos to you, commend you for your leadership and for getting brothers prepared for the next phase. And so, with that, again, I also like that you set the expectations with, at least what I think I heard, that you set expectations with your wife in terms of what you were planning to do prior to you going into this space too. So it sounds like you're still having those conversations, which is another reminder for the men who are trying to be leaders in the craft. The wife, the family should not be separate from the craft. It should be together. And I'm careful with using the word should. In this instance, I'm going to say should. The family needs to be part of what you are planning. Even before you even join the organization, if you are aspiring to be a Mason, you need to be bringing your family into the loop. It should not be this thing over in the dark corner someplace and say, well, where the heck is Matt going? Why is he here? So, make sure. I appreciate the fact that you talked about your wife and the fact that you have those conversations. So again, kudos to you for showing that leadership, not only in the craft, but in your family as well. So with that, thank you again. Much appreciated. Looking forward to the next conversation.
And I also want to say, I couldn't do this without my mentors, right? That's another question you guys ask. And you didn't ask me this one too. I know I talk a lot, so I talk a lot, but look, I have mentors.
Top three. We gonna move.
The mentors I have brothers in my lodge, my PMs that I could call whenever, anything that I need to know. Like I said, I have history, Masonic stuff. I could call Kev if I need the Constitution. I need stuff dealing with the organizational structure. I need ideas. I could call Sandino. Party stuff, political information. I could call Gene. If I need ritual work, I got Daquan, I got Lakeith, I got hitters in my lodge, right? Those are my bullets. But thank God, I mean, knock on wood, it wasn't no real important stuff that where I need to pull the shotgun out or the machine gun. They were good. Like they was right there though. And I got brothers outside outside my lodge where I could call. I've had plenty of conversations with Mark, right? I love talking. We build all day. Like I said, I could do a shift with him talking. 2 hours we in there talking. I could call Mark at any time. I got brothers like Don Thomas. I got Tone from Tone Marshall. I got less like these brothers. There's brothers that I could reach out to, so I wouldn't be able to do this without these PMs, these people that led the way already, or that extend that olive branch to me. That whenever I call, they pick up. Right? There was a president that said he may not be the smartest president, but his Rolodex is what helps him get through it. Right? He could call somebody on his phone. He could call somebody in that Rolodex that'll give him the answer. So that my reach is long, where I could call somebody and be like, "Yo, I'm looking for this information. How do we go about this?" Right? And I thank my mentors, these brothers that I can always call, and they call me whenever they call me, and I'm there too to speak and to talk. Right?
Absolutely. So having those relationships, super.
I'm sorry, just real quick. I just want to mention, shout out to Tony Marshall. You mentioned Tony Marshall on a mentor level, and Tony is just real young in the craft, but I know it's the vibes and everything like that. And not saying it's wrong or anything to that nature. I'm just saying that the respect that you gave to Tony name by putting him in that. And just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that. That Tony, my man.
Yeah, because I don't do that whole time in the craft or these brothers up, because knowledge come from everywhere, son.
Of course.
It don't matter. It is brothers that come in here. I told, see, I go into another rant. I told brothers sometimes we have a tendency of doing what the Greeks do, the divine nine, with as far as
line 07 is
yeah,
give deference to line whatever.
Yeah, we don't do that like that. And I got brothers coming in. We don't know where we don't know the knowledge that these brothers have. It's brothers that come in here that we got doctors. I had a dentist come in last year. We got politicians. We got people that are well established, that are smart, right?
Yeah.
Just because we've been in the craft 20 years, and I know these brothers, and I know you know them, that still don't know what a cable tow is,
Yeah.
right? You be like, yo, that's my cable tow. No, brother, that's not your cable tow. That's a slang. That's a slang that you use. Cable tow does not refer to the brother that you came in with. A cable tow, you know, that it's explained in the degrees what a cable
Exactly.
tow
And,
is.
and Will, we're gonna leave you with that, with your favorite
There it
saying.
goes. Hey,
Matt, get us out of here because Will
Yes,
gonna have
sir.
us here
Yes,
till
sir.
3 o'clock in
No,
the
man.
morning.
Listen, man, I love the conversations, man. I wish we could go on for a while, but
let's do that
yo,
media. It's coming up, son. Let's
that's
link
it.
up that media. We had this conversation. That I know that they bringing back the classes. Let's be in there.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do this.
We might have to
Especially
do
the
something in
brother.
person. We might have to have like a live another conversation in
Oh,
person.
that might be a good
Yeah,
idea for y'all. Let's
yeah.
go live
Let's
with the podcast.
let's tap in offline. Let's tap in offline on that one for sure.
Facts.
So
Facts.
for everybody that's listening again, we appreciate you, your time, your energy, the positive energy. Again, we hope that what you heard today will inspire you, will motivate you, it will move you to do the work, to continue to develop yourself as a leader, professionally and personally. And we hope that you will share this podcast, share this episode with as many people as possible who you think will receive information, guidance, and inspiration from. We always say
Wags,
that.
can I get them the secret sign of a Mason? Like, just, you take this hand, bring it together, and you throw that U up. I don't mean to give it to everybody. I'm sorry. The who? The you.
Yes,
I'll leave y'all
yes,
with
the
that.
you, yeah,
Thank you,
you.
my brothers.
We
The you.
always
You can
say,
do it.
we always say that the world needs leaders, and leadership
Yeah,
starts with being able to lead yourself. We talking about temperance right now, Worshipful Master Green.
yeah, we
You be
got it. We
done.
got it.
So the world needs leaders, and it starts with being able to lead yourself. It's impossible to lead other people if you cannot lead yourself. And so with that, continue to please grow and develop yourself as leaders. Until the next time, God bless.
Peace.